Welcome. Tonight, in this special report, we are looking back at the truly extraordinary events of December 24th, 2025. It was a single 24-hour period that saw a wild spike in unexplained and anomalous events happening right across the globe. Our job here is to lay out the facts of that remarkable day. Okay, let's just dive right in and look at this timeline. The events were all over the map, both literally and figuratively. We're talking about everything from the ground beneath our feet to the skies way above us, and even into the shadows of our oldest legends. We're going to examine the documented facts of this unprecedented day, event by event.
So, things really kicked off with the planet itself showing some pretty extreme signs of volatility. Reports started flooding in from across continents about dramatic geological and meteorological events, all suggesting a world in a very unusual state of flux.
What's really incredible here is the sheer contrast. Get this, on one side of the world, Wichita, Kansas was getting absolutely buried by a severe winter storm. On the other side, the Siberian town of Verkhoyansk, literally one of the coldest inhabited places on Earth, was experiencing a shocking, totally unseasonable heat wave. A deep freeze and a sudden thaw happening at the exact same time.
And it wasn't just the weather. The ground itself was restless. Near Iquique, Chile, a pretty significant 5.8 magnitude earthquake shook the entire region. Now sure, this area is known for seismic activity, but this event was part of a much bigger pattern of tremors that were being recorded all over the world on that one day. And this really just shows you the scale of the instability we're talking about. You're at the Popocatépetl volcano in Mexico erupting, sending a massive plume of ash thousands of meters into the air. Back in the United States, both Mount St. Helens and Ridgecrest, California were registering these weird seismic swarms. And then, in South Africa, the ground just gave way. A huge sinkhole suddenly appeared in a residential neighborhood.
Okay, so while all of that was happening on the ground, you had to look up because the skies were just as active, just as bizarre. This period saw a whole host of reports of highly unusual phenomena, and they moved from strange lights to, something far more concrete.
At first, it started with these strange, unexplained lights. You had witnesses in Ventspils, Latvia, describing this massive, swirling spiral of multicolored light. At the same time, people over in Ashbourne in the UK were reporting these silent, pulsating orbs moving in perfect, synchronized patterns. In both cases, people said they were beautiful, but they were also completely inexplicable aerial displays that just defied any conventional explanation.
But things quickly evolved from these vague, beautiful lights to what witnesses started describing as structured craft. And nowhere was this reported more clearly than in the restricted airspace near one of America's busiest airports, Seattle-Tacoma International.
Now listen, this isn't just some casual observation. This is the direct testimony of Captain James Ellis, an experienced commercial airline pilot with over 12,000 flight hours under his belt. He was on his final approach when he saw this thing, and he watched it for a full 45 seconds, describing its impossible movements and its metallic structure in his official report.
So let's break this down, because this is what makes this sighting so significant. This wasn't just a simple eyewitness account. This report was given the highest credibility rating possible. The source was an official government agency report. The witness was an expert observer. And crucially, there was electronic corroboration, a quick blip that appeared on air traffic control radar. Its performance, totally silent, capable of instant vertical acceleration, made it one of the most important UAP reports of the entire year.
You'd think that would be the peak of the strangeness for one day, right? Well, you'd be wrong. As the day wore on, the reports actually got stranger. The focus shifted from unidentified objects in the sky to sightings of unidentified creatures on the ground, really pushing the boundaries of what we consider possible.
We suddenly got this extraordinary cluster of 3 separate Bigfoot or Sasquatch encounters all along the west coast of the United States. In the shadow of Mount Shasta, you had multiple hikers reporting this towering figure. Near Forks, Washington, a resident had a terrifyingly close encounter. And in Darrington, a motion-activated security camera actually captured clear footage of a large, bipedal creature crossing someone's private property. And each of these reports came with its own form of evidence.
And it wasn't just happening on land. Across the Atlantic, the age-old mystery of Loch Ness was suddenly very much alive again. A group of fishermen reported a nearly 10-minute-long sighting of a large creature with a long neck. But this time, the story came with something new, corroborating sonar data. The fishermen's equipment showed a large, moving biological target deep in the water, right under their boat.
So what does all of this mean? I mean, when you stop looking at the events of December 24th as these isolated, random incidents, and you start looking at them as a collective whole, a truly startling picture begins to emerge from the data.
When you actually look at the numbers, it's pretty revealing. The day saw a massive spike in geological and extreme weather events, way above any statistical average. But right alongside all that physical instability, you had this distinct and significant cluster of high-quality UAP sightings and these biological anomalies, these cryptid encounters, all of it happening within a single 24-hour window.
We've presented the facts of this extraordinary day, exactly as they were reported by credible sources from all around the world. The final conclusion, though, that's up to you. Was this all just a statistical anomaly, a perfect storm of unrelated events? Was it a symptom of a planet undergoing some kind of rapid, violent change? Or does all this data, when you put it together, point to something else entirely? That's the question that still remains unanswered.